Hello, I'm Jennifer Castoldi from Trendease International, and we are coming to you live from Milan Design Week at NLXL. NLXL is an amazing wallcover company that's come out of the woodwork, almost literally, in the last 3.5 years. They've built up a global name for themselves and are working with some of the most renowned designers from Paris and the Netherlands.
It's been such a crazy story. We started off with this idea for a scrapwood wallpaper, and we were just playing around with the scrapwood and we started scanning it, and when I got the first image from the scans I did realize that this was something very nice, but I absolutely never expected this would become such a huge success, because the paper we made was for our own house. We just wanted to have something nice on our own wall, and I remember when I saw it I thought to myself, this is going to be a very good product. And that's when I contacted Piet. Scrapwood to me is Piet, and I don't want to make a fake product. So I thought to myself, I should talk to him at least. So I sent him an email and I said, I have a nice plan and I think I have a nice product. And he said, sure, stop by. And he loved it, and that's how the company started. And the level where it's at now, to me, is like a dream.
And now let's have a chat with Danielle Rozensztroch, the art director of Merci, the amazing shop in Paris.
The counter at Merci was built with real metal tins that came from an antique store in New York, and had this idea to transform this real material in a wallpaper. For example, we started with this huge, that's a real format of one tin, and the thing that I like very much is the texture and give the sensibility of this product, you know. This one is a smaller one that also I like very much, because it's sometimes easier to use when you have small walls and you don't have the possibility to put these huge pieces. It's really a story about patterns, color and texture. You know, this collection at Merci is very successful. We use it very often for exhibition, for different kind of theme. We change all the time the pattern, the color, and but the thing that is incredible is to see our clientele looking at that, and the first minute they don't know if it's real or not, and that is something that all the time I'm so happy to see their face, you know, how they were so surprised, you know, and that's something very fantastic.
We're going to talk with Job Smeets of Sudio Job, one half of the design couple who has envisioned the showroom for Milan Design Week and NLXL.
We thought it would be much more creative to produce and to sculpture unique pieces instead of products. And because you're a designer, you want to design new products or new objects. Basically, we started with all these sculptural pieces, and we somehow, don't ask me how, but with a lot of force and a lot of energy, we managed to interest design brands in our vocabulary, in our identity. We are here now at NLXL, a company that is a mass producer in wallpaper. With this collection particularly, we dived into our archives, redesigned different themes, and especially for this collection we show all the outings together, so they become one, let's say, one story, one Sudio Job story of the last 10 to 15 years. We also put each pattern next to each other, so it's not like one room with one pattern, which will be basically what people will do when they take the patterns in their homes. I think they will do one wall with one pattern, and instead of all the different patterns next to each other. But for this, because obviously this space is also to explain the project, we thought it would be fun to not only look at the aesthetics, but to just coldly present the patterns next to each other, so that it becomes more or less more monumental.
Piet Hein is known for his scrap wood. He's also known for not throwing anything out. He's now translated this into a digitally printed wallpaper collection.
The first time I spoke with Rick was on the phone, and he called me and he said, I'm going to make a scrap wood wallpaper collection and bring it on the market, but I just recently thought about that it's stupid not to do it with you. And I said, yeah, that would be quite stupid, so let's do it together. Okay, well, the second scrap wood series we made is much more designed. So the first one was the plain surface and texture we tried to get in the picture. And of course you have to add something if you make a new series. And what we did is what I did is I just thought about what I do with the scrap wood itself, with the big beams, and we have big beams furniture, and then we have a big beams collection. So I thought, well, I take this as a starting point, and I make a wallpaper which gives the possibility of, in a corner where you make the heads of the beams, and on the side you do the sides, and then it feels like there is a massive piece of wood in the room, which is totally idiot, of course, but it really gives this feeling that it's a huge block of massive wood. And we made like of very thin parts, which we normally throw away. We make sort of lines, and we also have like the new collection, 40/40 it's called, with waste production, which is all square pieces, 40/40. The wallpaper is 80/80, but doesn't matter. It's less provocative, you know. It's less like, whoa, it's more. There has more taste in it.
Piet, who does interior architecture, has now translated his office wall of concrete into wallpaper.
Well, the wallpaper, I already did a lot with wallpaper, and then Rick came to me and he said, what do you think would be great for a wallpaper? And then I said, concrete, of course concrete, because I love the concrete, but it's always so difficult to get the right concrete, and it's difficult to get a living or a small space with the concrete. So I thought it was a great thought to do it with the concrete wallpaper. We made this concrete because this is in my office. So we used a real wall, and then Rick came with his photographers, and they used my real wall for the wallpaper.
So they photographed a concrete wall?
Yeah, in our studios, or in our studio and in our showrooms. So we got a lot of the real concrete. And I think also the concrete combines so beautiful with beautiful art. So you see this piece of art is so beautiful on this wall. So I think I'm very, very happy with the wallpaper. Well, this one I like very much because you can still see the wooden texture in it, because they poured in the concrete, and after that they took off the wood, and the wood is still in it, and I think it's really, really beautiful. And because there's no repeat in it, you don't see so many repeats, it's really like it's not fake. We used the wallpaper in New York on a very high-ended apartment, and the people in the beginning they were a little bit shocked that we wanted to use the concrete, but they loved it. And actually, they loved it, and now it's in the place, and everybody is crazy about it.
Plans for the future? Well, we are working on some very good collections, I think, with some very good names that I'm very proud of, but I can't mention them yet because we're in the phase of negotiation. But we are working on a new collection with Merci, and also on a collection with the creative director of Merci, Rozensztroch. And we are putting out some new products beside wallpaper. So we're working on some very nice stationery items, and we are putting out a very small furniture collection at the end of this year.